Tokyo. Please tell, it's the premiere of Mordecai, correct? Did you accompany Mr. Depp to Tokyo for the premiere of Mordecai?
I did. When I was...
Please tell the jury about that trip.
Well, I had just started to pick out the wedding dress right before that trip, and plans were moving for us to get married shortly after this trip. So we took this trip to promote his movie. I went with him. We got in an argument in the hotel room, and I said, I don't remember what I said to him, but I said something snotty to him that provoked him. It provoked him, and when I walked into the hallway, he grabbed me by the arm and slammed me up against the hallway wall, and I kind of struggled with him, tried to push him off of me, and I managed to get out of his grasp enough to take a few steps, and I kind of curved around and went into the closet. And by the time I made it into the closet, he had me by the hair, and what felt like he was just wailing on me, but in a really sloppy way, like hitting the back of my head, and kind of wrestled me down to the floor. I mean, it felt to me like I didn't even have a fair shot, because I wasn't facing him or looking at him. I was walking away from him. Or else, you know, I would have at this point even I would have tried to defend myself more, but I didn't. I kind of felt like it didn't see it coming, and he just wrestled me down to the ground. And I remember he was screaming at me. I mean, like really screaming loud. And what I remember of that is trying to get up, and him kind of wrestling me back down, and at one point put his knee on my back. It was kind of like kneeling on my back. And I just had this like struggle with him. And I look at him, and he's still got his glasses on. I just remember looking at him and thinking that was so... I mean, he just looked like he hadn't been through anything, you know. He still had his glasses on, sunglasses. And he was screaming at me that he hated me, that it was over, he didn't want to marry me. He was disgusted. He was disgusted. He made this mistake. It was a big mistake. And everyone hated me. And I remember crying on the floor, just more than anything, I was heartbroken. I thought maybe he was serious. I thought maybe, God, he doesn't love me. Maybe he really feels this way. It broke my heart. Broke my heart. I wanted to marry him so bad. This is the man I loved, you know. Yes, it was awful at times, but I loved him and what he was saying.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
Overruled. What he was saying to me hurt just as bad as anything else. I just remember that he left me on the closet floor, and as embarrassing as it is to say, I went up to him at some point. I don't know how much time had passed. He was sitting at the piano in the living room of the hotel room that we had. It's so... I know it may be hard to understand. It's hard for me to hear myself say, but I just wanted it to stop. I wanted things to just be okay. And I just sat next to him on the piano, and I just leaned my head on his shoulder, and And of course I was mad. Of course I was mad and felt it was horrible what he'd done. But on the other hand, I wanted us to be okay. I could just put I could put the physical stuff in a box, and I just kept going back on how much I love this person. So just put my makeup on and went to the premiere with him and walked the red carpet with him. And I remember in the car checking my phone obsessively for pictures because my dress was backless. Of all times to have a backless dress. And then I was just looking at pictures. I was on the red carpet. It was surreal because I was checking for bruises and making sure that nothing, like there would be no marks on me, and we just looked like this other thing on this red carpet when it was just. It was not like that. It's embarrassing. You know, it's hard to. I'm sure it's hard to.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
I'm going to take you to February